Hi, everyone. It's Gina Sunderland, Food and Consumer Relations Specialist, dietitian with Manitoba Chicken Producers. Welcome to our Manitoba Chicken Nutrition Month Facebook Live Ingredients for a Healthier Tomorrow. I am so excited to bring you this Nutrition Month event. I don't know, for those of you that don't know, March is Nutrition Month. And I am just delighted to be joined here by Jenna Kendall, who's actually doing her dietetic internship in Moncton, New Brunswick. So it's just phenomenal that technology can bring Jenna and I here together to cook together. So Jenna is a University of Manitoba graduate from the Foods and Nutrition Program, Faculty of Agriculture, and she has worked with me as a summer student for the last couple of years and has been doing some contract work. So Jenna and I have kept in touch while she's been doing her internship. So I am going to turn it over to Jenna to introduce herself and tell you about the recipe she is going to be making tonight. And we have some fantastic, healthy, wonderful recipes on deck for everyone. So welcome and thank you to everyone for joining us. So over to you, Jenna.
Hi, Gina. It's so good to see you and cool to be a couple provinces over and doing this. So as Gina said, I'm in New Brunswick. I'm doing my internship, so pretty busy. And I've been able to incorporate a lot of Manitoba chicken recipes into my meals for the week. Some quick and easy recipes. And as Gina said, we come on here live today because it is Nutrition Month. And this year's theme is Ingredients for a Healthy Tomorrow. So we chose a few Manitoba chicken recipes that we thought fit into this theme. So a few key points that stood out to me for Nutrition Month were having skills to prepare and enjoy food in the kitchen, choosing sustainable food choices, minimizing waste, and budget-friendly choices.
Yes, those are excellent. And you know, one of the best things that we can do, of course, is to buy those local ingredients, like the local chicken that we get here in Manitoba. And you can get chicken from the local farmers there while you are in New Brunswick. And like you said, purchase those other ingredients that are economical, because I know you've got some really great economical ingredients in your recipe, Jenna. So before we jump back to Jenna and have her get into her recipe, a live would not be a live and a celebration if we didn't have some terrific prizes. So tonight, just for tuning in, joining us, asking Jenna or I a question at the end of the event, or sharing a comment, you will be entered into a draw to win one of three $75 grocery gift cards. Enough money to make both of these recipes and to add a few more little great ingredients, healthy ingredients into your cart as well. Now, we can't give grocery gift cards away to everyone, but we do have some fabulous Manitoba chicken education and recipe booklets that I would love to mail out to each and every one of you. So if you send me a direct message at the end of the event with your mailing address, I will be happy to get these booklets in the mail to you. Okay, Jenna, I am so excited to see how your salad recipe comes together.
Yeah, so tonight I'm going to be making the chicken avocado black bean salad from Manitoba Chicken. So I've got my chicken cooked up here. So one great thing about this recipe is that you can use cooked chicken already for the recipe. So here I already cooked up my chicken earlier. It's ready to go. And I've got some black beans and corn. So as we're talking Nutrition Month, we're talking about budget-friendly, sustainable foods. These are great options. Canned foods can be a little bit more budget-friendly. And then I've got some vegetables here. So I've got red peppers, onions, cherry tomatoes. And another great thing I like about this recipe is that you can swap out vegetables and some of the ingredients for different things that are maybe more readily available or in season. And then I've also got my mango and avocado here. So I'm going to start making the salad here. So get my bowl. And to start, I'm going to add some arugula. And I guess another swap that you can make is you could maybe use some spinach or romaine lettuce, kind of whatever you have in the fridge. So here I'm adding this. And I'm going to add some chicken here. And then we've got our black beans and corn and our vegetables. And then for the dressing, one thing I love about the dressing is all of these ingredients you usually have at home. So it calls for olive oil, calls for garlic, it calls for lime juice, and chili peppers. I just use the red chili flakes. So we're gonna just drizzle this over the salad. And then the last thing we're gonna add in here is the mango and avocado. So one great thing about this recipe is that it makes great leftovers. So it makes a great lunch the next day. But one recommendation I have is keeping some of the ingredients separate. So I would say keeping the avocado and mango as well as the dressing separate from the veggies and the chicken. And once you're going to eat it the next day, is adding those all together. It prevents everything from getting soggy and stays better, more fresh throughout the day and the next day if you're having it. So I have my salad here. Look at all those beautiful colors. And back to you, Gina.
Oh my goodness, Jenna, that salad looks delicious. And it really does have that rainbow of colors. And I know as dietitians, we often tell people to eat that rainbow of colors because all the different nutrients that we need can be found in different colored fruits and vegetables, as well as when we add those great protein sources, like in your salad, the chicken, the black beans, it's just delicious. In my recipe, there's of course the chicken and the cashew nuts. So these recipes not only are delicious, look beautiful, but they are just loaded with healthy ingredients. So when we invest in our nutritional health now, of course, we're healthier tomorrow. So it's really worth taking that time to cook and plan and think about all the different colors you can add. And it's interesting because we're making two completely different recipes, but we have some of the same ingredients like onions and peppers and of course the chicken. So I am going to show everyone how this delicious chicken stir fry with cashews comes together. So we love both these recipes. As you said, they both make great leftovers. And when you can use recipes, cook once, eat twice, that also helps prevent food waste. So that helps us to have a healthier tomorrow too. Okay, so I am going to start out by showing everyone how you make this delicious sauce that goes with the stir fry. Very simple again. Like Jenna said, it's so nice when you have those ingredients on hand. So just 3 tablespoons of chicken broth. So I'm getting that all ready for you. I've done things in a tiny bit of a different order here just to save time. I've got a teaspoon of Chinese hot sauce that you can add if you wish. A tablespoon of soy sauce goes in. And 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. The final ingredient for this delicious stir-fry sauce is just a teaspoon of sugar. Just sort of that sweet and salty gets blended out together. And then what you want to do is you want to whisk this so that the sugar dissolves. And we're going to let those flavors blend for a moment. So with this recipe, it's 3 sliced skinless, boneless chicken breasts, but you can use chicken thighs as well, whatever your preference is or whatever might be on sale. And the way the recipe starts is you use about a tablespoon of canola oil. I'm just going to turn on my special little stove here. Okay, use a tablespoon of canola oil. Now what I've done is I've got this started by I started to brown the chicken because you do brown it for about 7 minutes. And I didn't want to have everyone watch me brown chicken for 7 minutes. But the way you start it, according to the recipe, is a tablespoon of canola oil. And then those same chili flakes that Jenna used in her dressing, I've got a teaspoon of those nice chili flakes. You just sweat those out a little bit in the oil. You brown them a little bit. You don't let them get too dark. But once they start to be fragrant, then you can add your chicken. You can start to probably hear a little sizzle happening here. So like I said, I started to brown the chicken just before Jenna and I went live. And then you add 3 cloves of minced garlic. Ooh, smells so good. And you stir fry that together for a bit. And then you simply start adding that rainbow of color of vegetables. So we've got 1 carrot here. Turn this down a little bit. Oh my goodness, I've eaten supper, but I am getting hungry again. We've got 1 carrot here, so orange, full of beta carotene, great for our eyesight. We've got 1 sliced red pepper. I don't know if people know this, but a red pepper has actually more vitamin C in it than an orange. And a vitamin C is a very important antioxidant, meaning it helps keep all of our cells healthy. And vitamin C is important for healthy skin, hair, nails, eyes. Also helps reduce congestion if anyone's been dealing with a cold or other things. So, ooh, this is delicious. I wish you all could smell this. And then I'm adding 1 small chopped onion and 3/4 of a cup of snap peas. And Jenna was talking about some great substitutions in the recipe that she was making, the salad recipe, how you can use different fruits or other ingredients, use what you have on hand. Same thing goes with a stir fry. Sometimes I don't have snap peas on hand because they can be a little bit more expensive, but you can definitely add a different green veggie. A nice crown of broccoli will work beautifully. I've used a couple stalks of celery, so it's just that simple. And that's one of the great things about cooking from home is you can use up ingredients. A couple tips that I like to share is I always like to keep a running grocery list. So when you run out of something, you add it to the list. I also like to do a little bit of advanced meal planning so that you're buying ingredients that you know you're going to use for the week. And when let's say you're going to make these 2 recipes, and I hope you do, you can buy that same red pepper and onion, and you're using same ingredients. So you don't have that food waste, but making really different things. And then the last 2 delicious ingredients that go into this wonderful recipe is 1/2 cup of toasted cashew nuts. And I've used peanuts. They can be a little more economical. You can use almonds if you have those on hand. And then just 2 cut up green onions. And that's how this stir fry comes together just beautifully. I am going to show all of you my stir fry here. And I love to serve this recipe over brown rice. So there you go. It's just that simple. And oh my goodness, it's that delicious. The very last thing that you do once your veggies are cooked is you add your delicious stir fry sauce. And then that just brings all of your flavors together for this beautiful, delicious stir fry. And I have used, this recipe calls for oyster sauce. I've also used hoisin sauce. So again, whatever you have on hand. So those are our delicious recipes for tonight. You can see how quick and easy they were to make. Jen, I just want to throw it back over to you before we go to our question and answer, just to see if there's any other little tips or tricks that you might want to share with people for ways to boost their nutritional health. I know you've learned so much on your internship.
Mhm. Yeah, well, one thing you said was the pre-planning. So that's been a huge help for me. On Sundays, I take some time to plan out my meals. And then one thing I did want to touch on is the chicken. So we were talking earlier about buying frozen chicken and freezing it, which frozen chicken can be put in the freezer for 3 months, good in the freezer for 3 months, and then also cutting up your chicken, cooking it, and freezing it. So those are 2 great tips. For me, if I am planning on having chicken that night, I'm either taking it out in the morning, getting it ready to go. Just having chicken in the freezer accessible is great for me, so I can plan nutritious meals for myself.
I love that tip. And you know, a lot of people don't realize that, in fact, you can freeze that already cooked chicken. So I love your meal planning tip. So for making something like the salad you made tonight, if you know you want to make that again in the future, you know, cook that chicken, package up what you're going to need for the next time you're going to make the salad. And then, like you said, that frozen chicken can stay in the freezer. Cooked frozen chicken can stay in the freezer for 3 months. So that really saves that step. And then thinking about what you're going to have the next day. So you take out from the freezer what you need so it's ready to go. And that can certainly not only save you money because you're not going through a drive-through starving on your way home, but it also helps to, you know, boost your nutritional health. And yeah, it's just a really nice thing to know that when you get home, you've got things organized. You can look forward to that healthy meal. And of course, cook once, eat twice. Those leftovers are just a wonderful nutritious time-saving tip. So we've been talking about ingredients for a healthier tomorrow and healthy ingredients for all of us. But there's something that I want to share before we go to the question and answer, because this is something I am really proud of, to be associated with Manitoba chicken producers and our farmers and chicken farmers across Canada. Our farmers have done a lot of work with technology and have invested in technology to ensure that their industry is more and more sustainable as time goes on. So in the last 40 years, chicken farmers have actually reduced their overall carbon footprint by 37%. They've reduced their overall water usage by 45%, and 62% of the energy that they use comes from renewable sources. So I think that these are incredible statistics. And, certainly I am proud to be associated with an organization that takes so much care and invests so much in technology and sustainability. Because not only is that good for all of us, but that's good for the planet too. So I think we're very lucky to have access to local Manitoba chicken year-round, chicken across the country, Canadian chicken. It's of the highest quality standards of chicken anywhere in the world. It's a fabulous source of protein, and protein is so important for all of us, for tissue healing and repair, for a healthy immune system, for building our muscles. And of course, it pairs well with so many other nutritious ingredients like veggies. So I just wanted to share that. I think it really fits well into the Nutrition Month theme, that ingredients for a healthier tomorrow. I've been so excited to have this opportunity to see Jenna and cook with Jenna, even if it is virtually. And now I am really excited to go over to our question and answers. And I need to look at my phone because that's where I'm going to find them. Okay, Jenna, get ready. Aha, this is a question for you. I knew you'd get some. Do you have any tips or tricks for cutting a mango?
Oh, yes. I found a good trick. So you slice it and then what I've done is I've taken just like a water glass and you kind of run it along the edge of the water glass and it actually peels it for you.
Oh, I love that tip. That's great. And that prevents you from getting cut. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is a tip for both of us, I think, Jenna. Any tips for helping to reduce salt when cooking? Well, I can start for sure. So with this recipe, you can use sodium reduced chicken broth, and you can use the reduced sodium soy sauce. And that'll go a long way to reduce the salt. In fact, in this recipe, you can use water instead of chicken broth if you would like. So that would be a great way, or just use a little bit less too of the oyster sauce, and that would be some great ways to reduce the salt. The cashews are already unsalted. So yeah. I'll turn it back to you, Jenna. I know you've been talking to a lot of patients in the hospital and probably giving them some great tips.
Yeah, I guess one thing with the canned foods is like rinsing them off. Some can have added salt in them, so just making sure you drain them properly. And then instead of adding salt, recommend adding some more spices if you're finding that some of your food needs a little bit more flavor. So something like basil, oregano, spices like that can enhance the flavor instead of adding salt.
Those are fantastic tips. Yes, I love that. Just amping up the seasoning a little bit. Another great option is using a little bit of fresh citrus like lemon or lime. There's lime juice in your salad dressing and really not a lot of salt in that recipe at all. So that's where you're really getting most of the flavor from in that dressing. And then you've got that lime where you can use it on top of your avocado and mango, right? To keep the avocado from browning. So yeah, those are super, super tips. And I think too, sometimes we just start salting our food out of habit. So get used to cooking with less salt, and the less salt you use, the more you get accustomed to the more flavors from the food. And always taste your food before salting it. Don't just shake that salt on. Give it a taste. And I love your spices. They work great, don't they? Basil, oregano, pepper. Thanks, Jenna. A question is, how long can I have cooked chicken in the fridge? Well, you can make these recipes and your cooked chicken can be in the fridge for 3 days. So make enough to last you 3 days and you'll save yourself time in the kitchen. Oh, someone's asking me where you can buy oyster sauce. Pretty much any grocery store now. Yep, just go to the international food section or the Asian food section. Even small grocery stores have oyster sauce, and it's great. A little bit goes a long way, and you can keep it in the fridge once you've opened it. So Jenna, a question we have is, can you substitute other cuts of chicken in the recipes? I have made this stir fry with chicken thighs, with chicken breasts. Have you made that salad with any other cuts?
Yeah, I think the chicken thighs is a good option. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think chicken thighs would be a good option.
Yeah, and sometimes if you roast a whole chicken and then you have leftovers, that would work great too, hey?
Yep, for sure.
Perfect. Yeah, chicken is so extremely versatile. Someone has asked a wonderful question here. Where can I find the nutrition facts or nutrition information on these recipes to find out how much protein and to find out how much sodium or salt is in the recipes? On our website, manitobachicken.ca, where you will find these recipes, we have our nutrition facts table. So you can go there and you can check the nutrition facts on any of our recipes before you decide to make them. And Jenna has been a wonderful help with actually getting all those nutrition facts up on our recipes. I've given her many interesting tasks, and some of the tasks have been very painstaking. So a big thank you to Jenna for the nutrition facts on our more than 250 recipes on manitobachicken.ca.
Yeah.
So hey, Jenna, I have a question for you because I know you've learned a lot about chicken and about food safety, and we often get this question during a Facebook Live, but I'm going to pass it over to you to answer it, not to put you on the spot. I know you know the answer. Do you need to wash your chicken before cooking it?
No. No, not needed.
No. And the reason is that you actually don't want to wash your chicken because that can spread droplets around from the raw chicken onto your sink and maybe surrounding surfaces. And that could potentially spread bacteria and could possibly make you sick. So the best way to know that your chicken is cooked is to use a meat thermometer. And it's so handy being right here in my kitchen because I will pull out this meat thermometer. So the best way to know that your chicken is cooked properly is to use a meat thermometer. And for chicken parts like Jenna and I have been using tonight, chicken breast or cooked chicken, you want to insert the probe of that thermometer into the thickest part of the chicken and make sure that it's cooked to 165 degrees Celsius or 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 74 degrees Celsius. If you are roasting that beautiful whole chicken, it should be 180 degrees Fahrenheit or 82 degrees Celsius. So my favorite kitchen tool, Jenna's favorite kitchen tool, is a meat thermometer.
And then there's also that other food safety tip that I have is when cutting chicken, using a plastic cutting board instead of something wooden like this. With the plastic, you can put in the dishwasher and make sure it's thoroughly getting cleaned, whereas when we're using wood like this, it's hard to make sure that you're getting everything off of it. So I think maybe, Gina, do you have the plastic cutting board there? I don't have one on hand, but.
Yes, in fact, of course I do. So yes, a plastic cutting board like this is a fantastic tool to have in your kitchen for when you are cutting any kind of meat, fish, or poultry. Thanks for the reminder, Jenna, because this can be washed with hot soapy water. It can also go into the dishwasher. So it's always wonderful to have in your kitchen 2 cutting boards. You can use a wood one like we have shown here for things like cutting up our vegetables, like for our salad and our stir fry and things like bread or the fruit Jenna had in her salad. But it's always great to have that plastic or glass cutting board for your meat, fish, or poultry. And that way you don't have to worry about cross-contamination. Thanks for that great tip, Jenna. That's a wonderful reminder. Some people have asked if boxed chicken breasts in the store are good, or is it better to buy fresh? Well, chicken is just as healthy frozen. It depends. Some boxed chicken, if people are concerned about things like sodium and that. Sometimes box frozen chicken might be breaded, so there might be salt in that, or it might be have undergone a process called flash freezing, where there could be some water and salt used to freeze that chicken. So just read your ingredient list. And when you buy fresh chicken at the grocery store, fresh local chicken, there isn't any water or salt or anything added to it. It's just one ingredient, and that is wholesome, protein-rich chicken. Yeah. Just take another quick check to see if we had any more questions. We've had so many great questions. Thank you. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. I think we've covered off most of those questions now. We really appreciate all the questions we receive from our consumers. I also want to, of course, extend a huge thank you to Jenna for taking time out of her busy internship schedule to spend this evening with us and share some great tips and a wonderful Manitoba chicken recipe. Thank you to all of you for tuning in. And of course, a huge thank you to all of our wonderful Manitoba local chicken farmers that ensure that we always have access 12 months out of the year to local, healthy, protein-rich Manitoba chicken. So a huge thank you goes out to them. And I want to extend, of course, a very happy Nutrition Month to everyone out there, to our farmers, and of course to Jenna. So thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been such a pleasure. Great to see you, Jenna. Take care. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.